Britain's Air Force is in trouble. The future of the Royal Air Force's fighter jets is uncertain, writes retired Royal Navy officer and former fighter controller Tom Sharp for The Telegraph. The Air Force is one of the most complex parts of the armed forces, and planning for its future is no easy task. In the UK, the situation is particularly uncertain, with the transition from the fighters we have to the ones we really need raising many questions. Today, the fleet consists of aging fourth-generation Typhoon fighters jointly developed by the UK, Germany, Italy and Spain. The RAF currently maintains more than 90 of the aircraft, although it received 160 in total. Of these, 53 are in the Tranche 1 configuration, which is considered obsolete and unsuitable for modern combat missions. Some of the Typhoons can carry modern weapons, including Meteor and Storm Shadow missiles, although the latter have been actively transferred to Ukraine. The backbone of the country's modern combat aviation is the F-35B, the only fifth-generation fighter in the British arsenal, operated jointly by the Royal Air Force and the Royal Navy. The choice of a vertical takeoff model was dictated by the need for compatibility with British aircraft carriers. However, as the author notes, this option has its limitations. Where you expect to find weapons and fuel, you instead find fans and flaps. This limits its range and combat capability, and it is more expensive to operate than other models. The UK currently has just 34 F-35Bs, 4 of which are in the US for testing. A total of 48 have been ordered, but that is clearly not enough. Just over 100 jets, only 30 of which are truly modern and are not the kind of air force that will deter Vladimir Putin. The only development strategy in participation in the Global Combat Aircraft Program, GCAP, a trilateral project with Italy and Japan, which aims to create a sixth-generation fighter, the Tempest, by the mid-2030s. The project is ambitious. The wingspan is 16.5 meters. The combat radius is up to 2,000 kilometers, which is significantly more than the Typhoon. And although Canada, Saudi Arabia and Australia are interested, many problems remain. Among them are 3 key questions. 1. Where exactly should this aircraft fight? If we are talking about Europe, its dimensions may be excessive. The project is supposedly oriented towards the Indo-Pacific region, but is Britain ready to interfere there? 2. Is it possible to make a technological leap from the 4th to the 6th generation? Although all 3 participating countries use the American F-35, none of them has yet developed such aircraft independently. 3. What to do now? We can't wait until 2045. One option is to buy more Typhoons, but these planes are powerless against modern Russian air defense systems. As for the expansion of the F-35 fleet, although this fighter is considered effective, it provokes mixed reactions from pilots. However, the author notes, almost every country in the Western world that was allowed to buy the F-35 took advantage of this opportunity. He considers theories about a switch in American aircraft to be conspiratorial. However, even in the F-35 family, not everything is simple. The B model has a limited combat radius and low payload capacity. The F-35A is more effective but cannot be used from British aircraft carriers because it requires a conventional runway. The United States and Iran are once again on a collision course over the Iranian nuclear program. Trump gave the Iranians a 2-month deadline to receive a new nuclear deal. If they don't, the US will bomb the country. In recent days, American B-2 bombers and warships have been deployed to the region in a show of force. In response, Tehran has agreed only to indirect negotiations. It has ruled out any direct talks while under a US policy of maximum pressure. But recently, Donald Trump said that direct talks are underway between the United States and Iran over Tehran's nuclear program. Speaking alongside Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House, Trump said a very big meeting would take place Saturday. Trump declined to give further details about the meeting beyond saying it would be at top level. I think everybody agrees that doing a deal would be preferable to doing the obvious, Trump said. US officials are expecting to sit down with Iranian officials to directly discuss a nuclear deal on Saturday in a meeting hosted by Oman. A person familiar with the plans confirmed to CNN, but the source could not say who would participate and at what level. Trump's Middle East envoy, Steve Witkoff, is believed to be handling the Iran file. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, meanwhile, said Monday on X the US and Iran will hold indirect high-level talks in Oman on Saturday. It is as much an opportunity as it is a test. The ball is in America's court, the foreign minister said. Direct talks between the US and Iran could represent a blow to Israel, which has long advocated for striking Iran's nuclear facilities. Trump has indicated a preference for negotiating over Iran's nuclear program. Trump recently sent a letter to Iran's supreme leader, 85-year-old Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, calling for direct negotiations with the United States over its rapidly advancing nuclear program. But Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian said late last month that Iran had rejected Trump's entreaty while leaving open the possibility of indirect negotiations with Washington. But Trump has consistently called on Iran, which is the chief sponsor of Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon, and Houthi militants in Yemen to abandon its nuclear program or face a reckoning. If they don't make a deal, there will be bombing, Trump told NBC News in late March. It will be bombing the likes of which they have never seen before.
Flames engulfed a sorting center in the heart of Paris on Monday evening, sending a large cloud of smoke across the city. According to Associated Press, a large firefighting force was called to the blaze at the Sikkim recycling plant in the 17th arrondissement with around 60 fire trucks and 200 firefighters at the scene, according to the fire brigade. There is no risk of explosion and the risk of spread is limited, said Corentin Dupree, president of Sikkim. Jeffrey Boulard, mayor of the 17th arrondissement, said all staff inside had been evacuated and there were no reports of injuries. However, the building is completely gutted and destroyed.